Hi, I'm Jeff Murrow, and I want to welcome you to Healthy Marriage Tips. Today, we're going to be looking at the question of how your behavior was shaped by your parents. You know, I'm addressing this as part of the ongoing series dealing with enabling and codependency because many times, when you have that behavior, you wonder, where did this come from? How did this develop? And you're not sure where it all came from. Well, that's part of what we're looking at today. Now, let me go ahead and clarify. I'm not here to get into mom shaming or dad shaming and to attack them and blame them for all of your problems. They may have had some of their own problems. What I am here to do is to help you understand where things came from and to get you heading in a direction to go ahead and get your family healthy. Because the reality is that your view of God, your self-concept, your character, and your abilities and how you relate with other people are shaped by your family upbringing and the environment that you were brought up in. And those experiences mold both you and your thinking. And it is those experiences from people who are given the responsibility for caring for you that shape things. And it's a more powerful force than what they would call about higher reasoning, because if higher reasoning is what brought about morals, our college campuses ought to be the most moral places in America. But that's not the case. What do you see? I mean, you see them tearing things up, destroying other people's property, tearing down statues. So that's not where morals and your ability to deal with people come from. It comes from the family. Now, in terms of dealing with it, to understand it, what I want to encourage you to do, this is one of those where you're going to have some homework. I know, that sounds terrible, but what I want you to do is, excuse me, get a piece of paper and list out various characteristics of your parents. In one column, write down what the characteristic is, and another column, how often it showed up. Things like being gentle, stern, loving, aloof, disapproving, distant, close, kind, angry, caring, gracious, harsh, discipliner, wise, holy, leader, trustworthy, joyful, forgiving. Qualities like this. And as you go through the list, you need to do this at least twice. Once for mom and once for dad. And there's something about when you write it down that it clicks in your head and it becomes more real. It's one thing to go ahead and read all these things in a book and make some determination because, the information can kind of go in there and gloss around and leave. But when you write it down, it sinks in. Like for instance, when you have to consider, was my father stern? How often? Well, was it on occasion or was he stern all the time? Was he even there? Because those early experiences will shape, how you deal with men or how you deal with women and how you feel about yourself. Because being that those are your parents, the messages that they sent to you about your value, your worth, what you mean to them, shapes how you see yourself. Do you see yourself having value, worth, and ability? Because it was shaped by your parents. Now, after you do that list, I'm not asking that you go out and, have a big confrontation with your parents. That's not what the purpose of this exercise is. The purpose of this exercise help you to see what shaped you, because a big part of it is your take on what they did. I mean, your parents may have had good reasons or bad reasons for doing what they did, and you don't have to get into their motivations. Your interest is in how you dealt with it and how you saw it, because that is what has shaped you and molded these tendencies for you to want to enable others or fix others. Because many times what happens, we have a wound in our own life and we try to fix that same wound in other people. We falsely assume they've got the same kind of wound. They don't. They carry different wounds than we do. And okay, after you make that list, see what kind of patterns that you notice. That's the first part. Then the second part, after you see these things, start trying to look at it objectively. I mean, we've talked about the difficulty with objectivity in some of the other episodes. But here, to help you get to that point, picture, if you will, if you saw a mother or father doing things to their child that your parents did to you, what would you say to them? Would you approach them? And how would you put it? What is it that you're seeing going on that bothers you? This is an important part of the exercise, because this is what's going to help start getting your mind to look at things objectively. So I encourage you to do this exercise. It will help you understand some things and help you start to unravel the knot that has happened. I mean, you may refer to yourself as a hot mess. Let's start undoing that mess and getting all the knotted pieces untied. This is going to start helping you develop more objectivity, to identify the traits that you're struggling with, and to help you see where that's coming from. I know when I've done exercises like this in my life, it's almost like the light bulb went off, and I realized some of my own resentments about particular areas where I had a grudge against family members were showing up, and that made me aware of it so that I could begin dealing with it. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to leave them below. As always, I welcome any thumbs up or comments or questions. If you want to send it to me privately, send it to me, jeff@restorethefamily.com, and that will help you. I do maintain a daily blog at surviveyourpartnersaffair.com, but that deals more with affair issues and not necessarily with pure family issues. But anyways, until next time, this is Jeff Murrah wishing you best regards. Goodbye.